The African fertilizer market is very important to Yargus. It's one of the developing markets in the world right now. We see it as the next Brazil. It's going to substantially increase in fertilizer consumption greatly in the next few years. So we want to be a part of that. We're working hard with our partners, Nectar, to develop systems for the African dealer network.
At Nectar, we predominantly deal with discharging fertilizer vessels in ports around Africa. We have a particular focus on West Africa, where we handle a lot of fertilizer throughout the years. We discharge it from the ships and then we put it into bags with our special mechanical bagging machines. It's a very good question. I think Africa as a whole is split into various regions. For example, in West Africa, I think you can say safely that Nigeria is really going to be the powerhouse of fertilizer exports. With many export production facilities coming online, I think we're going to see some big changes there. In East Africa, it's certainly looking likely to be Mozambique, Tanzania. They're going to have the most changes in terms of their usage and the way they're using their fertilizers.
In addition to Nigeria, we're seeing development of fertilizer blending projects pretty much all through Africa. In fact, we have the first blending plant that was put up in Ethiopia. Next month we'll be commissioning the first blending plant in Uganda, and we're currently working on new blending plants in countries that currently don't have blending. So Africa is developing, and it seems to be developing at a fairly quick pace. In terms of fertilizer usage, we're seeing more of a balanced approach. In the past, basically, we've seen a lot of compounds being sold in the market for all crops, all soil conditions. With the transfer of knowledge and the work that we're seeing being done by people on the ground, such as IFDC and AFAP, those groups are doing a good job of promoting balanced fertilization and looking at what's in the soil, but also what the crop's demands are. So with that, we're seeing increased use of micronutrients, both granular and liquids. And of course, that involves us when we're blending, or we're adding micronutrients in form of granules, liquid coatings in our systems, as well as powdered micronutrients. So we're seeing more and more technology being implemented.
I think certainly the way the Nectar's handled it is to find a strong local partner and really try and find someone who knows the local conditions, who has the local contacts, who has the local knowledge, essentially, to sort of help you, guide you through the maze that is bringing fertilizers into the country. It's a very good idea to certainly spend a long time looking for the right partner before actually taking the leap into start working in Africa. Obviously, things are wildly different to how perhaps operations are handled in the UK or in Europe in general. For example, in the ports in Africa, they may not have the same type of equipment. They may have different types of labour issues. There are a multitude of different issues that come up throughout the process, and I think it's important to have that local contact.
If I may add to that, one of the things that we've identified is Africa is really a jigsaw puzzle, and companies like Yargus, Nectar, we each bring one piece of that puzzle, piece to the puzzle, and really it's more than that. It's the entire private sector needing to bring the transfer of knowledge and additional resources to a developing region. So this is one of the reasons we are working with Nectar. Nectar has a very large footprint in Africa. They've been working in the African ports for over 30 years, and so they have extensive knowledge working in West and East Africa, South Africa. They've got technicians throughout Africa. So with our blending systems, to partner with Nectar on the bagging side was something that we saw as a very good next step for our systems. In addition to that, they're bagging 2 million tons a year. So the systems are proven. We've taken our entire product line and we've looked at Africa, and we've essentially have redesigned and come up with a new low capacity model that we just announced last month. Actually, the low capacity blending system is also low capex, low investment for a lot of the producers that want to get into the fertilizer industry. So we need to really customize what we're doing, and the final part of that is we came up with a lease program, a lease to own, working with a company called Innovari. We can then offer a 36-month lease, low interest rate, that only utilizes 25% of the required capital to buy a blending and bagging system. The final part of that is the entire project is backed up and guaranteed by AFAP, who is working on the ground. They have people throughout Africa. They work with the customer to qualify the customer, to work with the customer on their marketing plan, on their business plan. So they fully understand their investment of what they're getting into. So it's a very unique, specialized program just for Africa.
I think certainly over the last few years we've seen an increase in the amount of sort of the larger corporations that have been promoting sort of intelligent usage of fertilizers, promoting the correct usage of fertilizers, and actually marketing it in a way that enables the local farmers to get a full understanding of what they actually need. There's still a long way to go. I think the governments have a big responsibility in terms of actually educating certain parts of the sector. But it's certainly on its way, and it's looking positive, I think.
I think I mentioned earlier that we're currently working with AFAP. They've got people on the ground, but we've participated very closely with the IFDC as well, the International Fertilizer Development Center. They've had agronomic training sessions throughout West and East Africa, South Africa as well, and we've offered blending and bagging seminars to update customers on the different options and the different requirements of fertilizer blending and the aspects behind it. Working with all the NGOs on the ground who are working closely with the farmers to get the word out. Also introducing new people into Africa. North America's largest network of agronomic agronomists and PhDs. I've introduced a company to the largest farming network in Nigeria, and so they're working with the farmer now to develop an agronomic package, a data package on the ground in Nigeria. Yargus has always been a part of the FMB conferences. We consider FMB conferences as an essential part of our marketing package. We meet pretty much all the major players and also the new investors in agriculture. FMB leads the industry in terms of communications, in terms of knowledge in agriculture, and we want to be part of that.
And likewise with Nectar, I think we attend every single FMB Africa event, not just because of the knowledge and the insights you get into the industry, but also because our clients are there. You see the regular contacts, and generally it's a great event. Volatile
growth. Volatile growth.
Yeah.